Brothers and sisters. What's up, guys? Sorry to be up late to the to the event. Unfortunately, my phone was under charge, and first it wasn't taking charge, and then I was able to get it to take charge with the original charger, and now we're here. Let's see. Nana Ape, how are you, my friend? Uh, my love, Jam Bams, how are you, baby? Nice to see you here as well. Um, Sorry again. Sorry to be a little bit late, guys. This is gonna be we're gonna go over a couple of really important stuff that everybody needs to at least keep in the back of their head, so that they when they're thinking about what's coming and the dangers of this reverse stock split, at least you have more than one angle in the back of your head. Who else do we have in here as well? Miss Chase. Good evening to you as well. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. I'm so happy that the I'll be much happier when the Packers get the win later on to qualify in the playoffs. But at least my second team, the Bengals, won, and they claimed their. There you go, Christopher Stead. Just was talking about it. They claimed the AFC North again. I was kind of upset though, because I had a little guess with my friends, with my inner circle, and we were talking about the scores. And I said that it was going to be 27-19, and it came down to the wire. And like in the Bengals way, and unfortunately, yeah, the Bengals did score 27. The Ravens just couldn't muster one more field goal to get me to be perfect. No, but one of my friends did actually put I think it was like some $10 or $5 bet. I don't bet, Christopher. I'm a Muslim, so that gambling is forbidden. So yeah, so like one of my friends, he actually was like, "Hey, you guess the score, and I'm gonna put it." And then he was gonna guess it, like, for himself. So he did put in like $10. He did put the guess that I had, which was 27-19, and he was going crazy because he was gonna get some sort of, I don't know. It was in the thousands. He was gonna get like $3,000 or $4,000 if the score was gonna be correct, like 27 to 19, and it was 27 the Bengals and 16 for the Ravens, and there was like 2 minutes left, and I was like, man, he's gonna be super happy. He was, and unfortunately, they ran out of time as they made that last pass, and they just ended it with 27-16. So, well, $10 for a possibility of, I guess, 4K for him was worth it. He enjoyed the ride, but he's very bummed out right now. He told me because he just feels like he was right there, you know? Anyways, we'll go over what we have to go over, guys, right? That's the important stuff now. So, what's one of the first things that I wanted to talk about? First, lately, I've been getting so many and so much shilling. It's unbelievable the amount. Even prior to starting this live, I had some shills to come over. And by the way, they're not shills that are coming from short and hedge funds. Let me just let you guys in on a little something. Shills nowadays, mostly, and I'll tell you this, like back it up, mostly are other content creators code making. These other content creators out there, man, there's a lot of haters out there, guys. There's a lot of haters, and those, specifically those content creators that has been riding the community, trying to make them whole, like, make a living off of monetization and everything and all this stuff. They're literally sending out members in their community, members, because again, those people who are coming out to do the shilling on channels like mine, they're just puppets. That's what you are. You just want to get some brownie points to your content creator, so therefore he's using you as a piece to come out and start shilling here and say, blah blah, say stupid stuff that don't even make sense, while your content creator is hiding behind or riding the community, and not being truthful to the community itself, first of all, let alone just keep like keep on putting out content out there that, and you know who you are, because I know who you are and you know who you are. All of you out there that are doing this, sending these shills to come over here and all this stuff, just simply because you keep pushing the narrative, because right now the momentum is pushing for it. And therefore, it's every time you lose some shine, you want to go ahead and start creating some sort of coexistence or shit on others just so that you can continue to shine or somehow shine. You know who you are. I won't even give you the moment of night or day, of even like like acknowledging you, or whatever the case, but people can see it. People can easily see it. And again, most importantly, for those puppets that are doing that stuff, that's all you will be in this life. That's literally all you will be as an adult, as a youngin, or whatever, as an old person. All you will be is a puppet all your life. If it's not for this man, for the next. That's what you always be. Anywho, why is AB making extremely, extremely serious talk about this? I mentioned in my last live that I want to make sure that when history is writing itself, as it is right now, the history will write me where at the right place that I want to belong. Because we have to take sides. We've come to a time, brothers and sisters, where it's no longer about division or unity amongst the community. It's I feel like we've been through this part right now. Unity is always a plus. It's always great. But where if you want peace and I want peace and they want war, there's nothing that we could do about it except either submit to it or go on and face it. That's all. Literally, that's the only options that we have. And while I will say this, everything that I will say in this live, just like this last live, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I will never tell anybody what to do or what not to do. It's all my personal opinions. However, I still hope that all this talk from Adam Aaron and the board, as far as doing the reverse, like the 10-to-1 reverse stock split slash the conversion of Ape back into AMC, I still hope that there's a very slight hope in me that all that is just bluffing. As low of a percentage as that is, I still hope that it's just a bluff. Because if it is, then I don't know how I would define it, like as if it was like who he was bluffing and who they were bluffing. But at the end of the day, it won't matter because I'll be happy regardless if there was a bluff. If it's not bluffing and it's coming through, which 99.5% suggests that it will, you need to understand there is in the description column, maybe after this live, I will share that 8K file that AMC, especially signed by Sheen Goodman, back when they issued Ape. Like, I will post that, and each single one of you guys just have to go through that. It's about 14 pages, but 14 small pages. It'd be very interesting for you to see what exactly you are in and how the whole thing is set up. Now, when you have shorts, first, some of the questions that come and people ask, well, why haven't shorts covered since the price has dropped tremendously down to the price that it's at? Well, the answer to that is you don't know, and we don't know where exactly short covering was being done. Like the $60 shorts, or the people that opened up shorting at 60, 40, 50 in these areas. Those, I would like to think that most of these shorts have been closed over time. However, the majority, the billions of shorts out there, why do I think that there is billions and billions and billions of shares out there? What's up, Adrian? How are you, brother? Mr. Tim Tuna, how are you, brother? So why do I think that there is billions and billions of synthetic or even naked shorts out there? My proof to it is because in order for these shorting hedge funds to short something, they're borrowing the shares either from brokers or institutes that are putting shares on loan and to make profits off of it. And they're selling them, dumping them short on the market. Who do you think is buying those shorts? Or who do you think, in order for them to complete or in order for them to commence a shorting position, they have to borrow and they have to dump. In order for the dump to go through, that means somebody bought it. So basically, all this time, think on it like this. Get back to 2021. Because they always want to feed you the pill of fundamentals. And this goes out to the content creators that are talking fundamentals and all that crap. That want to feed you the talk that, oh, we're experts and the fundamentals of a bull market and a bear market and all that nonsense. In 2021, the general idea is that the market is a bull market. So everything and anything was just going up, right? Which helped these hedge funds make their money. They all were piling in, making money, betting on things to go up. Now, 2021 was over. Just basically, it's a brief skim through. So you could see how we're getting to where we're getting and how they're getting to their intention, like to accomplish what they intend to do. 2022 comes around. 2022 is supposed to be the bear year, the year of blood, when everything was pumped up throughout the bull year of 2021 up high. Everything is automatically, fundamentally, throughout a fundamental market, is supposed to be dumping down. So all these shorts were basically selling and piling up on shorts because when they sold their positions that they were making so much money off on the way up in 2021, now they are opening with that same position, short positions, riding it back down throughout 2022. And more importantly, is they were able to do that for a whole year each time. So for 2021, a whole year up, full gains, tax, no capital gains, a whole year. Then following it up with 2022, dropping it down, shorts and closing. Eventually, soon, you'll be seeing that soon on many positions, but eventually, well, as they're closing those positions, they're also not going to be paying much capital gains because it's been over a year. And again, they rode the whole thing down. They didn't have to sell it a week later. They didn't open a short position and close it a month later or a day later. No, a whole year. And even perhaps more. Now, another question. Why aren't they closing their shorts? Their billions of shorts. Well, there's that idea of buy and hold that we have. What can they? They can probably dilute the price with fake shares. I know you could probably see my my eyes are puffed out like terrible sleep because of the change of the weather here in Cincinnati, and I'm under the weather. You could probably hear my voice, so I'm having a hard time sleeping. Anywho, that's not what you guys are here for. Um, so where did I get to? So eventually, since there is not enough shorts or legitimate shares for them to buy back to close their shorts, even at these very, very, very lucrative prices for them at this point, there isn't enough. There isn't enough because obviously we have that mindset of to the moon. Retail shareholders, since we control it, the float for now. People are not selling one for a loss for sure. Let alone even if it goes up, most people are on this community wagon. They want the moon ticket. They're not thinking of this. In fact, I have a very good question for all of you guys. Please, and please do this. Ask all these other content creators out there, random, any. Just ask them. Tell them not financial advice. I will not be suing you. I will not be holding you to whatever. True of the matter, or like true question. What do you think? And I know many of them are going to play the politics and say, "Oh, I don't engage in the bracket talk and whatever." Tell them, what do you think truly your what AMC can go to? And don't give me politics. Don't give me a political answer. Don't tell me that, oh, well, it has the potential to go to this and all that. I got laughed at many times when I said that AMC in a fundamental market and without any effery that is happening right now in the market, our share price should already be 3 or 4 digits without short covering or any of that. Just basically on delivering of market cap of shares that have not yet been purchased, that have been delivered but never been purchased. Basically, the synthetics, the IOUs that you and I are all sitting on, that are considerably also could be shorts that even your own broker, you could call your own broker. Do me a favor, all of you. Call your own brokers. Ask them a question as well. Tell them, hey, do you as a broker, I know that you do day trading. I know that you do swing trading. Brokers do all that to make money themselves with our money. Because when we deposit it, the money doesn't sit. It goes and they keep working it out. Ask them, do you guys also open short positions? Don't ask them, do you have an open position, short position on AMC? They're not going to tell you. But tell them, do you guys also, as a broker, is it out of the blue, or is it normal for you guys to go ahead and open up short positions also? Do you guys make money by opening short positions? And see what they say. See what your brokers say. If they say yes, then I'll leave it to your wild imagination. Do they possibly have short positions on AMC as well? I mean, technically, they know, they have all the data from you and me and everybody when they buy. Doesn't matter, payment for order flow or not, broker. When you buy, they know what's coming in. They could easily go very well against it, especially if they have already an understanding between them and someone else or someone's else that this is the plan and this is the blueprint, and we are all to be on the same page so that we can all profit and make our money, or we all can get vanquished. That's why they all have to play ball with each other, even if they don't like each other. It's kind of like the evil purpose of one is the benefit of all, unfortunately, right? Ask your favorite content creators. Ask them, please do me a favor and tell them, hey man, listen, I've been holding you on a pedestal for whatever, the better part of 2-3 years or whatever, or for however long. Tell them, what do you truly think? Like your true thoughts, not your financial advice, not what you think exactly like AMC will go to, not number calling, not even estimating. Do you think that AMC is a 4-digit play? 4x or 5x or 6x? Ask them. At the end of the day, all of us as content creators, we are nothing without your following. So if they don't have you, they don't have anything. They have no voice. They have no influence. None of that. Ask them. So they owe it to you. And here's why I'm telling you to ask them that question. Because a person who sits and tells you that AMC needs money, they need their balance sheets to be fulfilled, they need all that. I guarantee you, anybody that talks like this is a person that believes 100% that AMC would only go to probably $150 to $250. Like, this is just me reading the room. I'm telling you, anybody that talks stuff like that, because here's the thing, I can easily tell you guys how AMC, like I can vanquish the idea of, oh, they need to sell shares so they can be good. Even they have millions of dollars on hand, they need more for the rest of 2023 or 2024. All that could be, I can abolish that in one way, and I'll tell you how. So you can answer these morons out there that says otherwise. Also, what other issue that we hear a lot, or I see around, that people trying to make sense out of this whole following blindly in faith, in faith. Oh, okay, I have faith in this CEO or in this board. Listen, the only men that didn't make mistakes, and even then some of them made some small little mistakes, were prophets. No other man in this world right now or woman is a prophet. So therefore, all make mistakes and all have negative thoughts and positive thoughts. Now, which ones win them over? I'm not, you and I are not sitting and sleeping with that person night and day to exactly examine and know what kind of person they are or what's really harnessing in their head. So follow this whole following blindly. Oh, I trust in this, I trust in that. This is the way you lead the sheep to the straight to the slaughterhouse without any questions. And when the guillotine is coming down, that's when they're like, "Oh, I should have thought. No, somebody, please help." It's too late then. This is your livelihood. This is your money. This is your family's wealth, potential wealth. So I don't understand why the passive aggressiveness when it comes to that. It's everything. You, I mean, again, I don't know if I've been hiding under a rock or not, but it's been almost it's been over 2.5 years for many people of pain and literally suffering and waiting night and day. It's like sacrifice. Those are years that you're never getting back. So now you want to be passive aggressive, or is the real reason that you don't want to go against this mentality of questioning the CEO and the board? Is it because that you don't want to really know the answer? You're afraid that, oh, he might be on the take, or he might be on there, or the board entirely is playing games and is going to screw me up, but I don't want to know it. Kind of like a monster in the movie, and it's in the room, and you go and you just put the blanket on top of your head because you're like, oh, I can't see it. I mean, if it's really there or the killer is there, you're done. If you don't do nothing about it, you just put a blanket over your head, then what's coming for you is going to come for you, and there's nothing to be done about it. And if it is a good guy and is a good board, then you would be able to see that very easily through all the transactions. My problem is the people who are following blindly. And on top of that, because they're following blindly, they're actually leading everybody else straight to the slaughterhouse, especially by agreeing to anything. I mean, these people are is so bad to the point where if they get smacked on the right cheek, apparently, I don't know what scripture they've been reading, they turn the other cheek. Come on, guys, this is the stock market. This is not biblical times, and this is not where it applies. No one, AB is not turning no other cheek. I'm not getting smacked, and I'm not turning the other cheek. It's plain and simple. Abolish some of the ideas that they say fundamentals. Okay, fundamentals matter for long-term holders. No problem. For short squeeze as well, no problem. However, the short squeeze should have already short squeezed, especially with the coexistence of all these short, naked shorts and the synthetics. So how can we go about fundamentals when fundamentals don't apply? When you're buying and when some of these content creators also say we need buying pressure and all that stuff. So how many other floats do we need to buy in order for the float to be enough buying pressure? Well, if those content creators don't want to answer that question, that means they believe in the back of their head, just so I could save you some time. They believe in the back of their head that we've never anyways purchased the whole float. But when the camera is on, they'll say with the whole movement, hey, to the moon, everybody, to the moon. Yes, I'm with you. But truthfully, guys, I've been in some conversations, and I'm not gonna like release names and whatever. I've been in some conversations in the back rooms and stuff of places with some really, really held up high content creators. I mean, held up high by the community itself. And you would not want to hear what these people were saying, as far as at least like number expectations and all that stuff. And they know who they are. If they're watching this live at some point, or now live with us, they know who they are. I'm talking about really, really influential content creators in the community. And the magic, the idea of the magic of asking a question and seeing, just feeling the waters and see what these people say. I'm telling you, you guys think Ken Griffin or Gasparano or Reno, whatever his freaking name is, are terrible people? Look in house. Trust me, look in house. There is a lot of content creators in this movement that are 100,000% riding the shit out of the community day and night. And on top of that, they got idiots who are telling them, yes, please jump on board, jump on my back. I love it. Jump on my back. I love it. I'll do whatever you want, you ask me to, Sarah, because you're a good Toby. You know Toby from Harry Potter, guys. Wink, wink. And I'm not, you all in here know AB. You know, all you, like, all in here. Oh, hi, salam alaikum, Frankie. How you doing, brother? Um, Adrian, how are you, sir? Always lovely to see you, brother. Colin, Colin S, Joe Jet. There we go. The family's in here. All you guys in here, the family that have known me for over a year, perhaps 2 years now. You know, when I'm saying something, I like I'm not. It's like there's no BS, there's no lie, there's none of that, because the only entity I'm afraid of is my maker. Because the only thing I always say, I invest far more in the afterlife than in this one. This one, we all are gonna go at some point. So I'm not afraid to die. In the same time, I'm not afraid to live. And I won't say some shit just so that I can gain somebody's whatever acceptance or any of that stuff. When you see me get emotional, and it's very rare, but when you see me get emotional, it's because I feel or I see the benefits of the greater, like the many people besides my own, being compromised or being screwed, and they don't know it. And many of them even welcome it. And that's my pain from within for them, for their loved ones. Even if they have an idiot of a guardian in the house, whether it's the father that's the investor in this community, or whether it's the mother, but the rest of the family, if one of them is an idiot, the rest of the family is going to suffer the consequences. And that's what pains me, that they have nothing to do with it. All these kids might have many more dark Christmases, holidays, no ability of purchasing anything. I mean, their entire lives for the future is going to be shaped for the worst by this, or for the better by this. So yes, of course I will get emotional for it. If you don't see eye to eye with me and you don't see why that is very important to me, that's who you are. To me, that's extremely important. That's extremely important. I take care of myself. I've made it very, very obvious here that either way, me personally, I've been trading for years. I do trading daily on a daily base on the market. However way this thing goes, I'm not gonna be the person who's left on the side of the road. But it will definitely pain for the fact that I've been here also for over 2.5 years, since 2020, September of freaking 2020. And to see it go down like this, and to see some content creators that even popped up out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere, and coming up to try to serve, I don't know what kind of fucking purpose. I'm sorry for the F guys. I don't drop these bombs. However, I don't know what these agendas are out there for, but it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. If AMC needs to pay down debt, here's some of the questions. Oh, we need money, AMC. And that's what mainly the Adam Aaron himself says. We need to pay down. Well, guess what? A short freaking squeeze can pay down the debt with less dilution to shares. Let's look at Ape, for example. If they sold Ape at $10 or at $8 or at $7, for F's sake, for $5, if they sold Ape at $5, would they have to sell as many as they have sold at 50 cents? Come on, all you math gurus over there that make all these slides and content creations and oh yeah, look at this table one multiplied by table two. Come on. If you sold 20 million shares at $5, is that an equivalence of selling 20 million shares at 50 cents? Would you even have to sell 20 million if you were able to sell at 5 for much more? You wouldn't have had to sell 150 or 200 million apes at 50 or 80 cents or 60 cents. If you, excuse me, sold, you could sell a quarter of that at 5 or 6 or $7 or 8. More shares in brokers and institutes and like in hedge funds and shorts hands means further dilution because they're going to take these shares and dump them short. And when the time comes, this is where the blah 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 da, 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 when the time comes and they convert this madness of ape back into AMC and it's equivalent to AMC, then the whole theory of or the mindset of to the moon theory in my humble opinion, I'm not gonna put facts out there. In my humble opinion, you can kiss that theory goodbye. Because what is making that theory stand? Go step by step. Don't go with your emotions. Go step by step. What makes to the moon idea stick on the wall? The idea that apes hold shares and don't sell them back until we reach the moon, right? That's what to the moon is derived from. Well, while that's not the only thing that is derived from AMC, ape is also derived from AMC. Ape was never just a forward split or any of that. No, it's derived also. It's taken, it's milked out of AMC, which in that point is milked out of you and me. You know what? The company needs money. If I have to settle for the better of two evils, please get rid of this crap ape, sell all of it, dilute it, and then end it and say, you know what? We just wanted to take money from all the apes, which they successfully did by initiating ape, because that's who it came out of. That's who it was derived from, the market cap, who we are most shareholders of. So it came out of us. If they were to sell the shit out of that and that's it, they say we are shutting down this ticker, I would be so totally for that. So totally for that. I do not want no reverse stock split. And more importantly, I do not want no merge. Conversion, back, merge together. Because while you're holding your shares to the moon, you're gonna have many entities that needs to cover their shorts with shorts available with shares available in their hand, or they can even go to the company because the company will have a lot more shares as well after the conversion. AMC can easily, and you will see this, fact check me when this happens, AMC will say, hey, as soon as the run-up starts happening, which we're approaching, brothers and sisters, we're approaching. When that moment comes, that those run-ups are gonna be easily controlled. If this shit was to go through of the conversion and the reverse stock split, you're literally, when the run-up happens, there is gonna be times and moments where you will see big sales that will happen in the name of we need to pay down debt. Thank you to our long-term shareholders. Because of you, AMC can now serve more popcorn. Get ready for those political announcements. Oh, AMC is this. And trust me, guys, AB is not off like right now. I know what the shills are going to label me as. Trust me, I already know. They've been coming at me hard. It's not like they have ever slowed down. But the fact that the company will have the shares that the shorts need especially after a reverse stock split. I've seen one. I'm sorry for this. I don't like bringing anybody down, so I won't even mention the name. But I've seen a dumb video where this guy, I guess, thought that he was. I guess he was a math teacher somewhere or whatever, and he put all this Hawaiian juice punches in one cup and says, "Guys, the shorts are not gonna. I'm just gonna debunk the idea of shorts gonna lose out on their short or their shorts are gonna hide." Because if you put all 9 cups in one cup, you have one big short now. It's gonna be harder for them to cover. That's one big bleep that you're gonna be sitting on. You don't understand how the market works. You just wanted to make a nice elementary school science project theory and one day look at your students and say, hey, look, I did this on YouTube. This video had this much views or whatever. It was idiotic. One of the most idiotic things. This is what we've come down to, guys. Literally, one of the most idiotic things ever. One big short. One big short. It's harder now. Instead of that entity having to go, that shortened entity having to go and find 10 shares that they need to gobble up to close their short when they're margin called at a freaking high price stratosphere, they only got to go look for one. Big one. So if the price was to magically go to $150 or $250, what is technically the price? What did technically prior to the reverse stock split go to? 25? 50? Your inner feeling and your inner gut is not wrong, brothers and sisters. I know each single one of you, when these news came out and all that stuff, had a bad feeling, and then you went to your favorite content creators page, not AB, but you went to your favorite content creators page for some solace and accommodation and feeling of the sensation of security, and they gave you that because that's what they are. They give you what you want. If everybody was to turn, literally everybody was to turn on this, I bet all of you, all those content creators out there would flip the switch just like that and all jump on the same bandwagon and say, yes, you know what? I wasn't paying attention to this, but when I saw that, yes, screw this reverse stock split and the conversion. I will never tell any of you what to vote on what or what not, but maybe at least I know what I'm voting on it. Now, either way, I've mentioned before with all these sales of this, I mean, this is how, like, if anybody still thinks that there's some slight of a doubt that you love your silverback, man, that means you just love it. You just love it raw and hard. You just do. It's just sad. That's the way that you see it. Even with all this stuff, it's sad. It's sad. It is really sad. This guy has literally the ability, or he was bringing in he brought in the ability of having all these shares, all these apes, eventually throttled all the way down, and then sold all of this so that it can have all those voting rights as well, as they already did, for so low, so that when the voting comes, when the answer comes out, yes, they do agree, then it's gonna, the media obviously is gonna eat it up and say that, look, the apes voted for reverse stock split and the conversion. And when the dust settles, eventually you're gonna look back at yourself and say, hey, what, you're gonna go blame a content creator? Even if you realize it after. Or are you gonna be one of the dumb ones who saw the price 150 or 250 and said, oh my God, we did it. We went to 150. We went to 200. We went to 250. Forgetting that you have 1 out of 10 shares now. And on top of that, forgetting that the shorts themselves at that point will technically not need you whether you hold to the moon or not, because they can get the shares from elsewhere. Your own company's board. They can dump those shares for them in the name of paying down debt. That debt could have been paid freaking long time ago by all these random dilutions at lower prices. If they were orchestrated, if their intentions were good and clean, brothers and sisters, these dilutions would have been orchestrated in a much better manner, and they would have been done much more effectively. And therefore, I mean, at the end of the day, what? First, when they did the first dilution, the excuse was, and this is from the community itself, the content creators in the community itself, that you all put them on pedestals. They said, well, AMC needs to pay debt. We don't want it to go bankrupt. Okay, it doesn't need to go bankrupt. But if I was the one in control of this, why would I sell? Like, if I know I have to dilute, I'm gonna ask you all a question. Let's say you're the CEO of AMC, okay? And you have X amount of shares. You know there's no other way around it, but you need, especially in 2021, when 2020 was shut down, most of it, they didn't have any income, they're hurting. Just look at AMC's situation, not other companies around. And you knew that in order for you to get at least somewhat on your feet, you needed to sell and dilute some shares. Now, I'm going to give you two options. Do you dilute, or I'm going to give you a few options. Say that you had 100 million shares to dilute from. Do you do it, since you know that the system and the market that we're in, the year that we were in, especially after a COVID year, that's not an everyday kind of thing. That's something that happens once in a lifetime, maybe every century or every whatever millennial. So so when that stuff happened, you knew you have 100 million, you're the CEO, shares. Hypothetically, you have just 100 million shares, and you knew you have to dilute. And you go ahead and you have the decision: do you dilute all 100 million at AMC surged all the way up to, I'm skipping all the way to June 2021. AMC surged all the way up to $72. They did their dilutions and at the $40 level, at the $30 level, they did many different sales, and the $50, $60 level, small ones. If you had that 100, would you sell, dilute all 100 million of the shares that you had? Because they eventually anyway sold all the shares that they had on hand. That's why later on he came back again in that same year in 2021, or was it in 2022 in the beginning? One of those. Came back again and said, hey, I'm out of shares. I need you. Give me more shares. When the run-up happened, all the board members were selling left and right. They made millions and millions of dollars. He made millions of dollars in the name of diversing his investment. Yes, he's the biggest shareholder. Well, after all, he is the CEO. And how could he, as a CEO, how could he pass up such a great opportunity to sell in the 30s? How could he pass up such a great opportunity? Millions of shares? Who needed them? Somebody needed them really bad? How could he pass up that opportunity? But if somebody in the community did, if AB came out on live and said, hey, I'm selling at $30, what would AB be getting? What treatment? Oh, you're a paper hand. AB wants to diverse his investments, guys. I got a family to take care of. No, you're a paper hand. Shame on you. Hypocritical movement. Would you dilute the shares that you had 100 million all at that high price and pay off that freaking entire debt? Or would you wait, take it in increments, wait till it gets a little lower? Because I just love getting less for my shares. Because you're doing the dilution. The dilution is taking place. And better yet, you're also taking less pennies on the dollar compared to what you can be taking. In fact, here's another question that pops up. And this, I want you to take to your favorite YouTuber. Whoever the F it is. The notion that Adam Aaron doesn't care. He's not here for the short squeeze. Let me riff. Job is not to commence a short squeeze or a MOAS. Adam Aaron's job is to make sure that AMC has open doors and that it's well set up for success in the near and the far future. Well, easy answer to this is that's a political answer for somebody who wants to just not back somebody up or not go against them. And again, this is for YouTube. It's just YouTube politics. But I can tell you this, yes, he can. It's actually in his best interest for a short squeeze to happen. You know why? If his intentions are clean, short squeeze will actually be the best thing to ever happen to AMC. Forget the shareholders, for AMC itself. Because somehow the thinking process or the thought process for especially these content creators that come out and they pump out this political answers and all this fugazi stuff is, hey, you got to remember, legally, he's obliged to go ahead and give AMC his full potential and listen to his shareholders, but he's not obligated, and his job is not to deliver a short squeeze. Well, the thinking stops there magically. Why don't you continue thinking and go forward? Well, what if a short squeeze was to happen? What can AMC do with shares on his hand? Instead of diluting shares at 5 and 10 and 6 and 50 cents of ape, excuse me, they can be selling shares when it's even if it's on the way down, even if it was in 4 or 5K, 10K, whatever, 6K a share. And yeah, I know some of you content creators that I'm talking about that remember when we were on phone calls before, and you said that you'd be surprised if AMC goes to a certain level, and just for the better benefit of the community, I won't even mention exactly what all of that was said, and for my word given to you that it would not leave that room. So I won't expose you. But AMC, with the little bit of shares that they have, or as many shares as they have, if the price was to go to whatever, even if they caught it on the way down at 100, they would pay AMC's entire debt. And that way, they would have, one, gained a good company, paid off their entire debt. They also owned up and manned up and looked out for their retail investors, the shareholders who, without us, they would be no AMC today. The sooner people synchronize that in, the sooner people understand the importance of the role that we play and we played in this whole thing. AMC needed the shareholders and constantly needed and still needs the shareholders. Put it this way. They could easily have sold whether on the way up or on the way down for much more and had to sell much less shares. If they truly cared about those shares, the dilution of the company, their retail investors' best interests, they would not be doing this the way that it is. And that's why this vote is extremely important for all of you guys, at least to know where you at on the side of history. AMC cash on hand, yeah, maybe it will last it right now before any selling or dumping or diluting, can last it for most better part of the 2023. Who do we know is hurting for these shares and needs it? Who do we know needs to fold, is on the brink of folding because they went through a bloody year of 2022 and 2023 is even going to be bloodier? Before I continue, let me look at some of these comments in here to see what's up, and relax for a bit too. Let me see if there's even any questions as well. Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate it, babe. Jamie, you said preach, babe. Maddie, not good for you. on your Ape shares and your AMC shares. Carlos A.E. Gonzalez. AA should have sold ape to the apes, not to the hedgies. And see, that's another thing that also happened back in 2021 and in 2022 with AMC shares as well, not just ape. The question, better yet, arrives as in like, why? Why? Well, only him can answer it. I can't answer it. You can't answer it. Only the man can answer it. In fact, who knows? We could be wrong, and we could also be right. But those are questions that are valid. All this Twitter crap that comes out and says, "Oh, choke on this, choke on that," and all this stuff, man. I swear to God, this whole WWE like play, I didn't know that it captured adults, let alone like I can understand the children's minds, but adult minds to that level, to the point where just because you like something based on impression, based on first look or whatever, now that's it. You're sold for good. You're willing to put your neck on the line for it. And it's we can look at this whole thing as the biggest division and all that stuff, but guys, if we don't stand up and take care of our investment and take care of and do what's right, then what would that make us? People who go with the water, go anywhere. If it's right, we go right. If it's wrong, we're still going with it. We're gonna be wrong. I don't care. I'm going with it. I'm just going with the flow. That's no way that I live my life. That's no way that I go about even my investments as well, especially. You named that question of as far as like paying off the AMC debt. This has been the biggest debt. Do you think, put it this way, I will ask you guys all a question and you can put your comments. If what everything that I'm saying here checks out to be true, and when time comes, let's hypothetically speak that everything goes according to exactly how I mentioned it. They make the vote, they get a yes, they do that. Shorts have enough shares from the corporate. They don't need the shares that you and I have, so that therefore they're not battling for shares on the day of the judgment day. They're not battling for shares because there's plenty of where that came from. Plus, there's many that they already have been sitting on since they're just waiting for the conversion of ape to AMC. That's the biggest thing to me is that I don't want. No, I already lost on you milking it out of my investment. No problem, but keep it there. That's the better of two evils, in my whole humble opinion. Abolish this ticker symbol. Do whatever you want to do with it and abolish it after, but do not convert it back into no AMC. To me, the way I see it, if you don't see that danger, you know how many people have been sitting. You're not retail have bought literally pennies on the dollar compared to what this other side have purchased of ape for when the moment of ceremony comes. When that day of rise comes, you're not the only ones that are going to be sitting on shares that are going to be ready to put them out. And this, by the way, proves, you know what, also? That there's not only just 5x the float or 9x the float. All these moves, if you put one and two together, it lines up to tell you that there's at least, in my humble opinion, over 14 probably floats out there that have been purchased. Yeah, you shills out there can laugh and do whatever it is you want to do because it's so easy to ride the waves. If it's going this way, you go with it. And if it's going this way, you hide. This proves that. All that proves that. And when these shorts need shares to cover with, to the moon idea is that we would be the ones, they come to us because we hold and we own the float. We own, until now, the float. Many times over. But if convergence happens and reverses happens, do you go ask your favorite YouTuber? Do you still control the float then? The float. If your favorite YouTuber believes that there are synthetics or naked shorts out there. Because again, I've been on calls where many of them don't even think those coexist. Gorilla Grodd, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you in here. Hopefully, you and yours are having a great weekend. See, see, the thing is, guys, when you see the when you see the numbers, I can already picture how the media, oh my God, are gonna so love this. Like when you see the price of AMC after or post, if again was this whole reverse split and the conversion of Ape to AMC was to commence and happen, um, and and the moment of judgment happens, um, I can already see the media saying, "Oh my God, AMC went to a new all-time high. It broke to 120 or 150 and whatever." And a lot of people, and I see already, like I can already see a lot of fools and idiots out there that are going to be saying, "Look, trust in the silverback, trust in the movement. We did it. Look, not forgetting that we like by doing a reverse stock split, by being at 120, you're technically you just squoze to $12. That's what you did. Even being at 120 at the new number because you did a reverse and a stock split. The market cap with the conversion and the addition with stuff with all again, it's all kind of messy, guys. I know what my vote is gonna be. Um, it's just if it does arrive and they put it on the dockets for voting, I already know what I will do. I still have a little tiny hope in me that all that was just talk. As low of a chance as it is, or percent of that it is. But it's important to stand on the right lane when you see that there's wrong, at least to the best of your knowledge, right? But going with the flow on something, if you think, even if you have a little doubt that it's wrong, then that defines who you are. Anybody can pick up a slide sheet or whatever and starts oh yeah. As long as I tell you what you want to hear, yes, you can have the sub, you can have the like, you can have the this. Man, I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't give two shits whether you any of you subscribe in here or like. I'm just right now I'm just so pissed off at the idea that people are constantly keep getting pissed on and you like it. And I'm not again, this is not even drama. If you consider this drama, you're too shallow for the stock market. You're too shallow for life in general, honestly. This is not drama. This is constructive speech. This is where we're talking as grown adults and you hear my thoughts and I hear yours. You don't like mine? Hey, go to your favorite YouTuber that you put on a pedestal. They'll tell you what you want to hear. What do you want? You got cancer? Oh shit, don't worry. What do you want to hear? You're not oh no, you're not gonna die. No. Cancer is treatable. Yeah. Look at this. Fact check me, bro. Article. They can cure that cancer now. KJW, what's up, brother? This is, I hope you guys understand or know that this whole thing is literally, if you can't put one and two together, and I know you guys are much even smarter than I am. Who am I even to be as a comparison? Whoever, whatever, however, not whoever, whatever, however. This is how you know AB is emotional when he starts saying multiple words that meaning for another one. However, this whole conversion slash dilution slash reverse after and all that stuff is to lessen the blow, dear ladies and gentlemen. It's just to lessen the blow for the other side. Does it help you? It doesn't help you. Can somebody come out with one way it helps you and me? Because when it comes to that, I guarantee you, your favorite YouTuber is gonna say, "Well, it's not supposed to help us. It's dealt so that it could help AMC because AMC, their obligation is to listen to their shareholders. However, do the best interest of the company. The company have literally been an orphan ever since 2020 and have been living off of its parents, the retail shareholders. We've been paying for the rent. We've been paying for the food. We're the ones who putting these ticket sales out there like that. We're the reason why they're not where the other two theaters that just filed for bankruptcies are. We're the reason why they even milked you out at the end and made this whole ape thing. I would love for them to sell the rest of Ape and do whatever. You know what? I'll take the loss on Ape, but don't F me on AMC. Don't F me on AMC. However, as I told you guys many times before, and to many people, no matter how this goes, I am already protected. One, from the stock market side. Two, from my positions. Because my plan has always been load up more, do day trades, and from my profits, load up more to my positions. My positions are definitely gigantic. However, my average down has been in a very good point. So time will tell if they're gonna do the F bomb, and when that time comes, and everything that I've said in this live and the last live checks out to be the way that it is when time comes, then you can't even go blame your favorite content creator or YouTuber if you find any of them around. Anyways, if you if you do, many of them are gonna come out and they're just gonna they're gonna shift with the water. If it's going south, they're gonna go south. If it's going north, they're gonna go north. Nobody will stick themselves out as a sore thumb and do the right thing in advance. They just all jump on the bandwagon after. Nobody's gonna risk losing because they're afraid. Hey, I'm gonna lose my following. I'm gonna lose my following. They're gonna be afraid, like, that I'm not telling them what they want to hear. So therefore, I could risk losing my following, and people are gonna come out and shills are gonna pump me down and say, "Look, this person turned," or whatever. I don't want to be the next review dork or dork, whatever his name is, or TMI, or the first gen YouTubers. That's what it is to them. That's what it is to them, ladies and gentlemen. They could easily, like, literally, like, when you look at it, this is what it is. This whole ape bringing it back is just to lessen the blow for the other side and eventually do what they have to do. I mean, by making more obviously ape, and then before the conversion over, this also gives shares. Who do they go through? To the brokers, to the transfer agents, even computer share, even those people that did DRS and all that stuff. Well, good thing for you is that who knows, did computer share have synthetics anyways all along, and they're just waiting for stuff like this to happen so that they can finally pair things up. And they got you running on a wild goose fighting within the community. If you don't DRS, you're a shill. If you DRS, you're a shill. I always advocate for looking at the bigger pictures, brothers and sisters. Always advocate for looking at the bigger picture. Do not just look at the first thing in front of you. Do not look at face value. look at the bigger picture. What's in it for the other side more than what's in it for you? Because if you see what's in it for them, you would automatically understand what's best for you. Life is good. I don't care nothing about Adam Aaron. This is good. This is business. Just like he's in it for business, they're getting too attached and emotional. I don't him and he don't know me. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, life is good. That's why your life is good. Ryan, I believe a deal was made. Hedge fund would pay all of AMC debt, and the squeeze will not go higher than 500. Ryan, I mean, there is some. I don't know if it was struck like this, and I don't know again the numbers exactly. 500, 250, 1,000, 10,000, whatever. But just think of it like this. If you don't like AB, I don't blame you, no problem. If you don't want to listen, if AB is saying something that you don't want to hear, but you would like to hear it from your whoever you hold on your own pedestal, do this. Think of it from a logical perspective. Why are the shorts hurting? Because they made crazy, unbelievable over leveraged shorts on many meme stocks, but mainly on our favorite stock of AMC. And eventually they got burnt because people found out about it. And obviously we all went on the opposite end of the seesaw. They were stubborn. They're like, we're not losing to these apes, these non-understanding and idiotic apes. So therefore, we're going to double down and triple down and quadruple. And they kept piling up. And we were like, we're not going nowhere. As my brother Adrian here says, he says, it's either what is your saying, Adrian? I know you're in here. Either moon or none or something like that. So it's either basically we apes have said that we're not selling for any numbers except for what we think or valuably think that we deserve for each of one of our shares. So what did the other sides do? They were like, okay, we see an insidious idea. They came up with an insidious idea. They were like, if these guys are stubborn and they got this notion of buy and hold and just keep holding, why don't we use them against them? How did they do that? Well, brokers, they opened up so many, like you notice how many brokers opened within the last 2 years? So many new ones, like these Moo Rectify, whatever, Shapeify, all that. So many have opened, and they're all their job is to take money, like a deposit machine. Yeah, you want to buy more shares of this? I got you. There was never, ever a buy button being taken off, except of a few times when magically, apparently, the other side was going to get throttled or obliterated. Beyond that, those few occasions, the buy button was always on. The sell button, constantly on. Never, ever, except of the suspension in 2021. So these people were like, okay, they're going to deposit their money. We're going to take them for a ride, but we need everybody to cooperate. This is why I've told you guys before. Again, this is my humble opinion. None of these things are facts. You choose what you want to believe. This is why you have not seen any head-on tackling by DTCC. You didn't see any except of of some Native American dance style around fire for the SCC. We'll call it Dancing Wolves around the issue. Nothing was done. The market was upgrading regardless. So all these notions and all these upgrades and filings and DOC 665 and all this stuff, To the moon. All that stuff is happening regardless. The market, the market is going blockchain, ladies and gentlemen, at its own pace. Why not make it a movie out of, make a show out of it in the process? I'm sorry if I'm saying things that makes any of you not feel good or any of that. I don't want to be the barrier of no bad news, and I don't think I'm delivering bad news in general because I just look at the life completely different. I don't look at things as in the bad news. Oh no, I don't want it to come. Listen, we are grown adults. This is part of life. Things happen and things change as we go in life. We don't know what's coming, but we sure as hell are ready and prepared. We gotta be ready and prepared for whatever. And by making my stance like this, I want to make it clear. Like we gotta think, like you think with your logic. Don't think with your emotions. I would love for Adam, Aaron, and the board to be our cousins and brothers and sisters and to be on the take with us and all that stuff. But that's not the case. That's not the case. I've made it clear why when people say the question that oh it's not their job to deliver a short squeeze because afterwards we will all leave, we'll take our money and AMC will be left for dead. Wrong. Wrong. Here's the answer to that notion and to that stupid, shallow, very shallow notion is if the short squeeze was to take, then they would be able to sell much less shares, much less shares for so much more and pay off their debt. And on top of that, gain the friendship of the most valuable partner on planet Earth. You and I, the retail investment. Institutions, they might bet big money at once, like Antara or whatever, even though it was not big money, because they're the ones who basically took the kitchen sink basically from AMC with that deal. Um, and it came out. I mean, I hate to look weak, guys. Come on, I don't like for my favorite company in stock to look weak. We looked weak in that deal, very weak. I mean, we need it. We need it. No, we don't need it. We don't need it. All we need is to outweigh the people that are trying to shut down your doors, not the people that are trying to keep you open and that kept you open for years. I understand the board and the CEO are not the owners, and it's not a family-owned business of AMC. At some point, they see themselves not being in AMC, on to the next job or on to retirement. But if that's the case, then automatically there you go. That's where the intentions are. That's how you know what they are. If a short squeeze of the greatest of the MOAS was to take place and of the greatest magnitude, how many people will come back after just to show homage? One, perhaps buy more shares and leave it, become long term investors with a considerable amount, whatever, or sentimental value. And how many want? I would like to say probably at least half of the people will leave some for sentimental value afterwards. After it probably goes back down, they'll buy back a nice little chunk and say, hey, you're the reason why I became filthy rich and very, very wealthy. This is just tip extra. That's the rules of the house. When people go to casino, that's what they do. Hey, even when they win 2 million, yeah, the dealer didn't win them that. They played the hand. However, they still tip the dealer. But think of it from the opposite end. If we were to get screwed on the to the moon, based on whatever you think to the moon is, because everybody has a different definition of to the moon. Some people I've spoken to, their definition of to the moon is $200-300 or 150 that some in some cases. And in some cases, their definition of to the moon is 5K, 10K, 20K, some whatever, 30K. I can't fault anybody because all of them are correct, because to get to 1K you have to go through the 150 and the 250 and the 300 and so forth and the 4 and the 8, and to get to the 10K you got to go through the 1K guy. And there's so many floats that have been opened and basically shares that were even dumped short on the market, synthetics basically, that basically you and I are sitting on, because when they sold them, we the one who bought them. And they wanted that. That was an orchestrated move. They wanted that. They wanted that because they needed your money, and they were all in the same collaborative effort to do what they have to do to take care of themselves, so that the whole entire system makes money, and some of us will make some money. We're not any different from the 1300s and the 1200s and BC and all that. We're not any different. The mindset, no. The human mindset is the same. Far more crazy too, greedy and evil. But as far as the look around, that's the only thing that has been changing. This semi-look technology and whatever, and the way that people dress and look, that's the only thing that changed. But the mindset did not. It did not. Look at them. They still look at you as the peasants. They still look at a 99%. Again, in order for a 1% to coexist, there has to be a 99% on the opposite end or in the bottom, so that they can have the status of 1%. It's just that common sense. So you can't expect them to come and give you you can't expect them to come give you their coexistence. Is Adam Aaron in your same bracket? Is any of the board members in your same pain bracket? Are they going through the same life challenges you are? Look at it. What makes you and I the same is that we both are going through the same exact thing. Maybe some different dramas in our personal lives, but the same outlook. We're looking for the same thing, hoping for the same thing. Adam Aaron isn't going to be around long. He has a small window before he retires. And that's the thing, Gorilla Grodd. Victor always writes history. Do we own media? We don't. As I said before, if the price after a reverse stock split, if this whole thing goes down at a reverse stock split and a conversion of APE to AMC, from preferred to common A class shares, then we have the run up, and we go to 150 or 200 or let's say 300. How many in here? How many of you in here will come back to say we squeezed? Let's say the max, it went up to 400 and then it came back down. How many in here? Please tell me. How many in here will consider that the squeeze? Forget that. I know if somebody asks you, would you rather take whatever 10K or 20K a share or 400? Everybody's gonna obviously say 10K a share. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, it went to 400 after the reverse stock split and after the conversion of APE to AMC common shares. How many would consider that? And let's say that's it. That's all you got. You could go cry in your house, in your room, on your own, whatever, if you wanted more. And many might say, that's what I wanted. But after the reverse stock split and the conversion, if they were to go through, how many would consider that a squeeze? Please put that in the comments by the time I get to them. Because you're still not factoring in the 400 is after the reverse split. If you do one, you're multiplying now your shares that you have that got dwindled down 10x. Now you're multiplying them by that number. If you were thinking, if you had whatever 1,000 shares, and now they're randomly 100, and again, yes, you if you didn't sell your ape and they get converted back into AMC shares, and you'll have some of that too. So let's just factor in that with AMC and ape, you have total together after the conversion 1,000 shares total, just hypothetically speaking. And then they do the reverse stock split after the conversion. Now you have 100 shares of AMC mixed in with after the conversion with Ape. So when the price goes to 400 afterwards, as we hypothetically are saying. So if the price goes to 400 and now you have 100, so what's the math on that? Now if you sold also on the top, another hypothetical situation, you also sold the top, which was 400, if the top was 400. For those of you who just walked into the stream, just so you will understand, like, oh, is he saying that's where we'll go to? How many will consider that a squeeze or the short squeeze? 100 multiplied by 400. What is that? 40,000. Now, when you had your 1,000 shares, when you were battling and saying, "Oh, I'm amongst the average," back in 2021, the average investor has 500 AMC shares. I did so much hard work in the rest of 2021. I saved and I sacrificed in 2022. I didn't buy whatever my family and my kids needed on the holidays. I told them it's a darker hour for a better day, for a better future to come soon, and all that stuff, all that sacrifice. When you finally got to 1,000 shares, you were in your head thinking 1,000 shares, and if it was to go to 100, 400 again in the same hypothetical reason, then that is completely different math. That, my dear brothers and sisters, is you're talking about 1,000 multiplied by 400. Now you got $4 million. That is completely different than 40,000. I'm so interested in seeing who would consider, because I already know the media afterwards will say, look, AMC was never at 400 after the first stock split. Look at that. Gorilla Grodd, I've never been in this for Adam Aaron. I'm here for when shorts close their positions. I'm here for MOAS and shorts haven't closed their positions. And that's exactly why they're in so much pain, brother. That's AB's point right there, is that, and you probably, wrote this comment a while back and I probably went over something like that. But again, that's why I'm so worried for everybody's sake about this whole ape conversion back and slash the 10-to-1 reverse stock split, because again, I'm making my position early. I'm not going to wait like all these other content creators who only care about their channels and whatever wealth and whatever they're looking for, whatever their agendas are. I'm putting myself on the right, like on the side of history that I want to belong on. And if when it comes out, if I'm right, I don't need any appreciation. I just know that I delivered on the message, and as much to the best of my ability, as far as info and logic, and whoever took into it. Whoever didn't, because again, I'm not licensed. I don't have insider info. I'm not a financial advisor. And if they don't, and I was wrong, and then the opposite happens, then it's a win-win situation for me. I win, and the family wins. And I easily come out and say, hey, guess what? We did go to 10K and 50K a share. Yeah, I was totally wrong. Otherwise, can't nothing and no one come to me and say, you were wrong. Because if anybody in here believes in the MOAS, then let's be logical. You can't come out here and also say, this 300, 150, 250 brackets and all that stuff, or 400 brackets. Once again, GME squoze to $464, almost 480, without full short covering back in January 2021. Let that sink in. And they did not need a reverse stock split. And they definitely did not need no conversion of anything else. And their business plan, as in like their scheme, is also worse than AMC. Like, yeah, they might have some cash on hand, a little more than we do, but their future on making money is much worse than AMC's outlook on making money. So who's in more pressing need to do reverse splits and to do conversions and to do issuing of extra ape? GME went and did a loopering. Any content creator out there that will sit there and tell you that you need a reverse split in order to short squeeze. Honestly, I don't even know what their agenda is at that point. Like, or what the point is. Do they themselves have a point or know a point or whatever? At this point, I don't understand it, and neither would you. Neither would they. Playing for birdies. How are you? Nice name. Forget YouTubers. These are the exact questions that need to be asked during shareholder earning report meetings. Well, thank you. Again, you're magically not going to get anybody to do that. It's and I mean selling shares from the company to get money for AMC. I'm here from OS and shorts haven't closed their positions, and I mean selling shares from the company to get money for AMC. Yeah, that's what we're all here for, Gorilla Grad. Tim Tuda, AB, can you give us any good news? I believe all of this was good news, brother. This is not bad news. My job is, or I don't have a job, but my thing is not to give people what they want to hear. And I know that you're not saying give me what I want to hear. Neither I'm saying that. So my apologies, Tim. But it's I believe it is good news that I'm saying. I would rather be aware of the punch that is coming so I could prepare for it than to not see it coming and then it lays me on my back. How is that not the best news ever? Although, Tim, there's a few content creators you could go to, I won't mention their names, that will definitely tell you you're going to go to Pluto. Just believe in it. Just go to Pluto. And if, God forbid, if that was not to happen, then they'll be the first people to start throwing blame somewhere else. Will they ever? The person that cares for you is the person that prepares you. That's all I can tell you. That's it. Not the person who hypes you, the person that prepares you. The person that hypes you is, if you look at it, even from a young perspective, when we were kids, every time there was a kid that was hyping you up to do something, they were hyping you up to do a narrative or a job to their interests and not your own, and pushed you to do something wrong. Always. But your best interest was never in the back of their head. Never. I'm not here to hype anybody. I'm here to enjoy life with everyone, with the family, meet people, talk about good stuff, throw out knowledge, whether it comes to me or I pull it out, push it out. It's that's what knowledge is. It's just something that it's like a cycle that goes around. Nobody possesses knowledge. It's just something that is flowing through everybody. If you want to harness it, you can harness it, but you can't keep it in. You always have to spread the knowledge. And that's why we're all vessels to each other. No one is better than anyone or more whatever knowledgeable than anyone except of the one that is interested in harnessing the knowledge. Many people just don't want. They just want to live more simplistic, and that's also very fine. Colin S is AB outing. See, that's the problem, guys, that I'm talking about. Guys, they can, like, the world can turn the community itself into a bunch of shills on their own, to shill their own self. Like, outing does not, like, saying the my opinion and preparing you for what is this stuff that is happening. If all your other favorite content creators are too freaking afraid to come out and tell you and do this, I'm not. I'm not, and I'm saying this with all the love, Colin. By the way, you know, it's all love between us. I'm not. I'm preparing you for things so you would have. If you're gonna go, okay. So how? What would you guys like for me to say? We're gonna go to the moon. If Adam Aaron says vote yes, we all vote yes, and you all vote yes, then everybody gets screwed. Hypothetically, that yes screws all of us. And then what? You're going to come back and what? What are you going to think of AB as? AB, you effed me. AB will say, I said no financial advice. And I thought Adam Aaron had me. So you point the blame at me. I point the blame at Adam Aaron. But at that point, we have no more game to play because it would be done. It would be over. This is why I'm preparing myself and preparing whatever my side on history will be written on this. This is my stance. Vote whatever you guys want. But my thing is to break down how they're going about it. How did they do this? Why are they even selling millions and millions of these apes? Why were they giving out in the name? Listen, nobody's gonna come rob your house, guys, and tell you in advance. No one. It's not going to come that way. The CEO, he can't also come out and say, hey, listen, I want to F you guys. So here's how I'm going to do it. When ape was derived from AMC, it was milked, derived from your own personal investment, mine and yours. The value. Like, imagine us giving birth, as much as I don't want to see that image, but that's what it basically was. And the fact that there was like so much more of ape created and then sold at lunatic low prices, you connect the lines. I'm not going to tell you why they connected, how they connected them. You connect the lines. And then as I'm speaking on these things, that those were events that did happen. And you connect the lines on your own. If you don't want to see the picture that the lines led you to, that's not on me. And that's not on anyone else. That's on you. All of you. When you see that these lunatic prices that they sold this ape at, who bought them? Who's going to have them when the short squeeze takes place? Where does the idea of I'm holding to the moon comes in place? That the other side that needs those shares that you and I have does not have access to them until the price is right, until we take it to Pluto, as we say, or a different galaxy, as we say, as we like to say. But if they don't need the shares that you and I have or as badly, then how will we take them to another universe or another galaxy? I'll tell you how. Tim Tuna, you wanted to hear some good news? Although I think I've been doing nothing but giving out good news so far, because I'm preparing you. To me, that's the best of good news. The best good news, what we have, is that the brokers that I've been alluding to for the past few lives, saying that they have been also selling so many shares that they don't have, that they're not purchased. When some market event happens where these particular shares have to be purchased, because as much reverse stock split that they do and as much reconversion, they're only lessening the blow, they're not erasing it. So those still have to be purchased, because when any run up happens, if everybody goes in and starts selling, the broker will get to a point that will say, okay, right now I'm literally selling this person's shares. Like, let's say I wanted to sell on the run up, let's say whatever price. Give me a price. Okay, 400, 500, 1,000. Hypothetically, we're at 1,000. AB wants to collect profits. Let's say I submit to sell 1,000 shares. Boom, at $1,000. Boom, I push it in. Now I don't know how many of those 1,000 shares that I'm processing are synthetic or not. To me, all my shares are real. To you, all your shares are real, rightfully so. But they, on the other side, know what is real and what is fake because they issued it. They created it. So imagine the brokers having to create a sell order for my 1,000 shares that possibly all 1,000 of them were synthetic anyways. So they know that they're about to give me money and sell me money and give me, like, sell my order and broker this deal to give me money on shares that they themselves have sold to me at a lesser cost, whatever cost it was, obviously less than 1,000, and then process the money and transfer it to me. To them, that's a loss. That's a big loss. Again, put the shorts on the side. This has nothing to do with the shorts. This is just separate good news. This is just as far as the shares that everybody owned at some point. When you press sell, it has to be honored. They can't send you back a message saying, well, it come to our attention, or it seems that you've been sitting on some synthetics and we can't process those. Well, they're the ones who sold them to you. They can't send you a message like that, because if they do, they'll be opening themselves for the bigger litigation, and obviously you'll be able to squeeze more money out of them than that selling order itself. So they would have to keep their mouth shut and basically process the order. Unless they try to do some stupid stuff and say that, oh, we find no buyers, you know? Nah, I'm just kidding. When it's the event and it's going to be going down, buying and selling is going to be so lunatically crazy, fast. Like boom, 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 crazy numbers going up. I've been in the GME run up. I've been in the AMC June 2021 run up. I've seen many short squeezes before and different ones. It's you will see. I know many people in here seen that, but if you haven't, you'll see. So like the buying and selling is going to be so chaotic that it might all go down, and then at the end they'll be like, okay, so what's the damage? Oh shit, I didn't even know I was shot. That's what one of the brokers might say. I didn't even know all this time I was shot because we were under fire. There's your good news, Mr. Tuna. Gorilla Grot, the weird theatrics around this play does get ridiculous as hell. It's as simple as buy, hold, expose the shorts when they can't keep this game up. Then collect from price movement. Ooh. Sorry, I'm getting messages. That's my friend who bet on the Bengals game and the Ravens game, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's still whining about it. Daryl P. Regardless of how this all goes, I just hope this is the end to all this BS now. The drama is served in epic portions in this play. Goddamn. If it's going this way, you ride. If it's going the this way, you hide. Ain't that the truth? 1000%. Yep. Yep. You'll see it. All of you, all of you. Again, there's many people that hold many people on pedestals. Remember them. Remember the pedestals you put them on, and call them back when it's. Oh my God! He made a group message out of it, and they're all like, the friends are all making fun of him and all that stuff. Coco Chanel, are you for AMC or is it doomed to you? Coco Chanel, you just were on my previous live saying, yes, I agree, you're correct, all this stuff. And now you're telling me this while I haven't changed my echo. I don't know, Coco Chanel. Are you for AMC? I don't know. I'm not a fan of wasting time. So why would I be wasting my time and doing this? If I'm actually not for AMC, I would be here day and night telling you, what's up, guys? Welcome back to AB Investments on another episode. And guess what? I'm gonna become like Finance News or some one of those drifters and just sit there and be like, or even the other ones. Yeah, we're gonna get filthy freaking rich. Yeah. And send people to chill on your channels and stuff because I want attention. I seek attention so badly. Those people don't give a shit about AMC or about the play or about the community because they will say whatever is politically best for them, for their agenda. And no, AMC is not doomed. I just also, well, I know that I'm looking at the comment now, but I just made a case on to why it's also not doomed. Much love, Colin. I just saw your message, by the way. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I'm not outing, and I know now. I know also that that's not what you meant. John Vincent, most YouTubers do not own any shares. I mean, again, who am I to and John to even know unless you have insider info on some YouTubers? But yeah, who are we to know? Like possibly, yeah, there's a lot of drifters out there, so there's many that probably don't have any, and there's many that probably do. Who knows? Colin. So AB voting no conversion and split. Who knows? Until the paper come out, the paperwork. We'll see. Hold on. I've been trying to open this water bottle and I couldn't because I'm holding the phone in my other hand, and I can't put the phone down on one because it's on charger. There we go. If they come out with the real proper paperwork and say the date when it's going to go down and the voting is going to go down and all that, then we'll see then. But yeah, my vote is it's not looking like it's going to be a yes for sure. That's what AB is saying. Yeah. And I presented in this live how the opposite of what they make as logic is actually the truth. Like I presented, guys, how AMC can pay down his debt through the short squeeze. I've also exposed and showed also how it's even better for AMC, for them, for even Adam Aaron. Why is it even in his best interest to deliver a short squeeze? Because you can't hold and keep. Many people say that their best, like their argument to that is that people are going to leave AMC and then he's going to be stuck on his own. Well, guess what? If people get screwed on this, do you think they're going to stay in there? What will he do then? So basically, you can't logically hold what you inevitably are going to lose. Face it, like, fact of the matter is, most people who are in this play are in it for the short squeeze. That's most. Some are long-term holders. Some just want to hold their, hold hands and kumbaya and all that stuff. Yes, it's pretty. It's amazing. Everybody has a different purpose in life. And I don't bring any of it down, anybody's opinion or anybody's purpose in life down or what they want to do with their investments, of course. But that does not mean it has to apply as logic for all or the standard for all. That's madness. That's stupidity then. He can't keep, okay, if the short squeeze doesn't happen because it's in his best interest for no short squeeze because we will all leave him, who's to say that we all won't leave anyways without a short squeeze? Like if everybody gets screwed on this, who's going to stay in AMC when it's all said and done? Are you still going to stay in AMC and say, oh, they pissed on my head and I liked it? I kissed AMC. I liked it. And so what I'm battling for you, just for some of you here who's probably don't see the same logic as I do, or like, what is he saying? Again, whether it's why it's in his best interest to actually, like, the logic that the narrative that they're throwing out there through shills and through content creators that are on the take, the idea that it's not in Adam Aaron's best interest to deliver a short squeeze, that's a false narrative, guys. It's a stupid narrative. I just literally gave you a reasoning, another, like an opposition, an opposition thought on why it's good for Adam Aaron to actually deliver the short squeeze to his, not only to his shareholders, but to the company. As far as for the shareholders, either way, when this thing is done, whether for the yay or the nay, perhaps over 50% of the investors are going to be out. But if everybody leaves out, your most investors, your backbone, without us, there's no AMC. If we were to leave with a sour taste, how many do you think will still stay there after? And I understand not everybody is going to make life-changing wealth in the short squeeze. Not everybody, but the overwhelming majority. I mean, at least, hopefully, most people would, make tons of money over what their initial investment was. But the overwhelming majority will be looking at making unbelievable, life-changing wealth. How many are going to come back and say, I'm going to go ahead and stand with AMC? It changed my life. It was the reason why my life changed. I'm going to be there for AMC. Anytime I go watch a movie, I'm going to go to AMC. Anytime I need to buy popcorn, I'm going to order from AMC, even if I'm not in the theater. If I'm in the AMC, I'm going to buy concessions. Any of the institutes have been doing that? Have any of these market makers and short and hedge funds been doing that? We are the spine of AMC. So not delivering a short squeeze would actually be a bigger blow for AMC, because then they would not have the overwhelming majority of retail on their side. And something big tells me if that was to happen, they wouldn't even care anymore. They don't even care at that point. They already got what they need. Their fundamentals are good now, much better. And with the dilution of God knows how many more shares, if this conversion was to happen, then they can, with a few strokes, they can pay off their entire rest of the debt. And after that, they, again, they don't need you, me, or anybody else. Nobody likes it. Everybody, the general public is going to say everybody loves it. AMC is good. You want to watch a movie? Well, guess what? There's not many theaters out there anyways, but AMC. But if there was no short squeeze, how many people will still go to AMC theaters and watch movies there? Knowing that every time they go to that movie, they remember that's the ticker that screwed their life. When rightfully so, this ticker is Actually, the lottery, not the lottery ticket, but the ticket that is 1 million percent has not just the potential, but all the accolades to make you the wealthier than you've ever imagined. But if the opposite happens, just know this: it wasn't retail that fucked you over. If the opposite happens, look at AMC, look at these content creators who refuse to come out and call BS when they see it. And many I've noticed soon, some of the very more influential ones are soon coming out and kind of toning down a little bit. Like they're not fully coming out and saying this is dangerous. No, not to that point. Not like I am doing it. No, they're coming out and saying why yes and why no. So I'm gonna dance over here and you let me know. Dave Elena's much love. Buy gold. Yes, Gorilla Grodd. Definitely need gold. People need the short squeeze first to be able to have, buying pressure, the overwhelming majority of the community, so that they can withstand it. One thing that's beautiful about gold, by the way, guys, we'll do a one big show one time about gold and specifically. I just have been reserving all this stuff about what our play is, just so I won't distract about anything else. But if you guys know the great distance that especially the government have went to make sure that gold is not out there like that, to make sure that gold value does not get diluted. If you know all these, like the great distance that the government went to do that, and by even it has a big reason, or it plays a big role in why we even have cash money now instead of a golden standard that we used to be back to or pegged to the gold. All that will be fun to talk about. We will talk about that soon. Maybe Gorilla Grodd can actually chime in on some. Let me see if there's any questions in here. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Adrian. Mars or bankruptcy? I'm already broke. They can't make me any broker. I can hold for years. And that's it right there. Listen, guys, as far as what we have to do to get what we need to get to, we all have been doing it. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder and the back, whatever you want to do, on the chest, pound it. Sacrifice you all have made. Time and sacrifice with many things, from your families, from your holidays, from your life, the years, the time that this took place out of your life, and you're willing to even throw more on the line. You've done everything that is needed. And deservingly so. You deserve every penny, to even over $1 trillion, if that's what comes back to you. You deserve every penny of it. No one can come back and say you don't deserve this. Because if this was like a job and it was a promotion, you've done everything to get your promotion. You've sacrificed, you invested your time. Like, look what you're doing right now. You're watching some random guy rambling about AMC and investments. That's you putting in work. That's your way of working. Even forget me. You went, looked on an SEC website. You searched this. You looked at who is this. And you've been doing it for years. You've sacrificed a lot, and you deserve every bit of that promotion. If this was like an example to the narrative that we're in the movement, you deserve this, guys. All of us, we all deserve it. Tim Tuna, will there be a before? Oh damn, I'm so behind. That was a 5:45. Will there be a run up before possible split? Um, it, there could be a run up followed by a rundown, so that when they do a reverse stock split, it could be at a price that they see. I'm thinking is going to be somewhere around the $30 after the reverse stock split, somewhere around that area. But again, all that doesn't make or break anything. Could be, AMC could be a five. Um, when they do the conversion first and then they reverse everything back because they need to do the conversion first. But before all that takes place, again, there could be a little run up from a certain number to a certain number so that when it gets converted and reversed, it could be at the number that they want it to. So I don't think that the short squeeze will happen. The MOAS will happen before. But yeah, there's a good chance that a run up could happen, because it even that has good written all over it for them, because they could easily go ahead and on the run up they could pump it, dump it. That's another chance to make money. Money never sleeps for them. Now, people when they ask that kind of question, Tim, it's kind of like if the answer is yes, and again, that's just my opinion. You shouldn't be going off of my opinion. However, if the answer is yes, then when people ask that kind of question, it's more to as, hey, I had enough of drama around. I hear this here, I hear that here, I hear that over there, and I just can't take this anymore. If there is a chance for me to hit the green light, I'm gonna take it. All I'm gonna say is I can't tell you what to do, brother. But remember, the other side needs it more than you do. Just keep that thought in the back of your head. If I know, once again, apply that logic. If I know what it means to them more so than what it means to me, then I exactly will then understand what it should be worth to me or how valuable it is to me. Because a lot of times, or most of the times in life, away even from the stock market, people devaluate things, property, house, car, whatever, because they don't know much about it. But if I know what is in it for you, what is it, what do you want, what you need out of it, how much is it valuable to you, then at that point I would know how much it should be valuable, how much it should be worth to me, because I know what it's worth to you. Well, thank you, baby. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not giving out bad news. If you sit around listening to these YouTubers and scrolling Twitter all day and Reddit looking for the next piece of hype news, uh, you are driving yourself mad. If you know the DD, we have been sharing. Yep, absolutely correct, Gorilla Grad. I remember the place that I guess you met me through Jam Bams, but the place you came from originally um, was filled with a lot of that, right? I don't want to open up or any shit faucets, so we just leave it at that, brother. Much love to you again, Adrian. Exactly, diamond hands. All CEOs have fiduciary duties of care, loyalty, and disclosure to shareholders. If these have been violated, then shareholder litigation is next, which I do see. If again, if this crap goes through and everything that I said here checks out and eventually happens,
There will 100,000% be litigation. I know that the entire community is going to be on it because nobody wants to take an outcome that they didn't like for an answer. So therefore, they will all back it. However, you got to remember there's many disclosures that people like him can hide behind. They can say this is for the best interest of the company. They can say so many things, so many things.
You know, at the end of the day, I got into this for the MOAS. I didn't get into this so I could get into a litigation situation. You know, if we get to that point, or if we got to that point, then that's when we know that the bell has rung. This whole idea, guys, again, um, and this is what I'm just waking people up. I'm just all I'm doing is just spreading like something that until now they are yet to file the paperwork for the conversion and the 10-to-1 stock reverse stock split. So I could easily play politics like most of these content creators, and I could just be like, yeah, to the moon, don't worry. No, vote yes. Vote yes. And the one thing that bothers me the most is trust in the man, trust in the CEO, the silverback, blah, blah, blah. Trust in the man. He knows how to run a company. You don't. You know what a win and a loss on your investment is. That makes you a great CEO of your own investments. If you have that kind of common sense, you have just as much knowledge then. So any of these people who will talk down to you, or these other content creators who again play the role of Jimmy Neutrons, you could easily humble them and bring them down to life through that. Water is life, brother. Gorilla Grodd, but you also have to remember it, AB. This is a very unique play. This is one of the first times in history a public company owned by millions of individuals instead of a handful of companies. Okay, Gorilla Grodd, I think I'm talking and you're listening and it's coming out of the other ear. It has to be that. Because I think I've made it clear with see, here's the thing that also bothers me, guys, a lot. And again, much love to you, Gorilla Grodd. Here's what bothers me is the people that don't understand you label you. And I understand you're not labeling me as anything, but that right there, that comment showed me that you didn't understand most of what exactly I was saying, unfortunately. Um, yes, as I've been saying, we owned most of the float many times over. That's not new news. And I said this in this live, and I've been saying it for 3 years. What I've been paying attention to in this live specifically was about the ape being derived, because the statement you just made, Gorilla Grodd, that was so 2021. Ape was not in the picture back then. With more ape being issued and then ape brought sold at so stupid low prices, and the company itself having control now of the ship, no longer shareholders, the company have a lot, and they will have a lot of shares if this was to go through. Then you and I are not going to be the only ones that are holding shares that the shorts need. Come on, guys. Please, please go along with me with this. Like, make logic. Go ask. Go ask around. Don't just listen to me. Take the info I'm putting and go ask. If the only thing that we hold is the shares that we have that they need to cover their shorts with, If we're not selling them until we get to Pluto or Mars, then where are they going to get shares from? The price will continue to go up, which is good. That's what we want. That's been our theory all along. But this existence now of ape and then of it being dumped so low at ridiculously penny prices, and eventually for it to be converged back with AMC, so it would be exactly the same. Like I don't understand. Like, am I the only one that is seeing this, or am I like, or are people so passive aggressive to the point where they, it's okay, I don't feel it. Stab me. I don't feel it. Like you, I, I'm pretty sure I make sense. Like if if the company has a lot more shares on hand during any run up, shorts are looking for shares. Do you think the company wants the price, the share price to like, are they gonna hold to 10,000 or 5,000 or 15,000? Come on. I know people don't like to answer certain questions because they are hot questions. I ask them and I answer them. What more do you want, people? What more do you want? Do you think institutes and like AMC will hold with you to 10K, 15K, whatever number, 50K a share? They just want to pay down their debt, and they made it clear they're ready to sell at pennies. So when they have shares and the shorts need shares to cover, and you and I are not selling, who will they go to? That's all I'm telling you, to open you guys' eyes to this. I'm not forgetting anything. Neither am I creating anything or saying anything. For the better yet, I don't even have to say anything. But instead I'm doing it for you and for me. I love all of you. You brought a good point, Gorilla Grodd. Again, I am hoping that when you mentioned that, it came from a great place, because my answer or my reply was coming from a great place. It wasn't coming from any hate or any of that stuff. Joe Jet, not calling the guy with this manipulation. What would happen to call options after reverse stock split? Same thing that happens to the shares. It will give the value of the reverse would also affect the option. So, for example, um, it's similar to like if the 20, and I know where this question is coming from. A lot of people are looking at and by the way, this whole thing of converging and the reverse stock split is also aimed for that, to lessen the blow. If it comes and it gets filed and it gets voted on and the vote comes out to be yes, it's mainly to lessen the blow for the other side. It's not to help you and me. If you don't agree with that statement, go do your own due diligence. Stop freaking coming to shill in my channel and to try to stray people away, and go to your favorite pedestaled whatever content creators and let them feed you whatever hay stack that you like to eat, or whatever grass, whether organic or whatnot. Let them feed you that over there. I'm not gonna do that here. I don't do that here, and you all know me for that. And I'll keep it that way. But when people ask that question, like this question, and it's a valid question, brother, it's not a bad one. Everybody's Jones. Yeah, so like technically the $25 strike price when people want to YOLO, like in June 2021, the $25 strike price would technically need to go to the price of the stock of AMC would at some point have to go to $250 in order for it to, for you to get to the break even, and even a little bit above that to get to the break even on that. So that would be the equivalence of $25 prior to this reverse stock split. Hopefully that answers the question, brother. But it doesn't, even if, and here's another question that I hear, or something I hear now, and a lot of people, again, most of these questions are coming from content creators, unfortunately, that are held on these pedestals. AMC is going to change the cusp number, which means it's possibly going to change its name. Yes, even if it changes the name, you do not lose your options. If you have options, you do not lose them. They just get converted over to the new cusp and the new name. Now, does it make sense that AMC changes name now? Do you know how many theaters have AMC on them? Do you know how much of an investment that will cost them to change? I mean, if they do something like this, that would be like the dumbest board decision I've ever heard in my life. You're in the debt. You need money. Every penny you can have mustered. You need to stop burning cash quarterly, and that is not your thing. That's kind of like on the industry itself. The movie industry needs to come out with more and better movies more consistently. So why would you go ahead? It's like, hey, you only have like $10 with you left to your name, and you would go. That's what this would be equivalent to. You would take that $10 and you go and you know you need food. You and like you need food, and that $10 was gonna, feed you and your family, whatever, from McDonald's or whatever. On the way to the restaurant or to the place to pick up food for your family, you saw a toy that looked, that like, oh my God, this is the toy I've been looking for. Whatever toy it was. Don't think in a dirty mind. I know people. I know you guys. Think of it as a basketball. You saw a basketball and you're like, I love basketball and I found the ball. Yes. I can't believe it's just for $10. It was on a discount. Normally it's for 25 or 50 or $100, depending if it's Spalding or what, or Wilson. So you buy the basketball and you go home and they're like, okay, what are we gonna eat? You can't eat the basketball. Now you end up going out there to sell the basketball for $1, not even for $10, because nobody's gonna want it for the same price it used. And yet, with $1, how much more food are you gonna buy for your family? You just technically screwed yourself up. So the point is, this whole AMC changing its name, even while I think is ludicrous, but even if they were to do so, that would be the equivalent to a lunatic, literally like a lunatic move to the biggest proportions. So I don't see it being that crazy. I don't see the board being that dumb and that the CEO being that lunatic. So yeah, that's another thing we would like to abolish today. And even if they change their cusp number, nothing happens to your shares, nothing goes nowhere, nothing gets deleted, none of that stuff. So if you see any titles out there on YouTube, people saying AMC changing its name, is it possible? Or AMC changing its cusp number, is it possible? Shit, what's gonna happen? Any of that stuff, just save yourself time. Thank you, Miss Chase. No one likes to be lied to. John Vincent, squeeze or no squeeze, 500 for me. You got, I've seen you post that like a few times. I got your message, John. We all did. Um, let's see. Carlos E. Gonzalez. 400 is 40 now. Well, not necessarily, because there like that is not officially proposed and we're not voting on it yet, because it's not it's just suggested to by Adam Aaron on Twitter, but it hasn't been filed for or any of that. If it did, and haven't seen it, or if it does in the near future at some point, then at that point, if the votes come back to be yes, then yeah, you're technically are correct. Your 400 will be like 40. Facts. Facts, Adrian. When times get hard, people jump ship, but that's life in general. It is. See Maddox robbery? Yeah. If everything I've talked about in this happens the way that it did, at least I know that I put myself on the side of history that I want to belong on, and then everybody can fact check me later or after. Not that it would mean anything at that point, right?
It's what you don't know, brothers and sisters, that will kill you. But what you do know, if you know everything, then you know that, like, or at least if you know as much as you can, that gives you a much better ground to, or a place to muster yet a better plan to make sure you don't get obliterated. By all means, always think about not just what your wishes are or your wants and your desires. Think about how could you cover all your bases no matter what happens. At worst case scenario, create a best case scenario, create the so and so scenario, create the worst case scenario. If you go into anything and you don't have a worst case scenario planned out, you're in for a good treat. And life in general, and a good treat, I mean as in like a very bad treat. Plan all those out. If you know and you have all those things and you factor all these variables, whether from here, from somewhere else, and all that into one, I'm pretty sure you can muster a very good plan to make sure you and your loved ones are taken care of. Forget everyone else. You're holding with everyone else. But when it comes to your personal situation, you're on your own. Each person is on their own. Playing for birdies. Doesn't it all matter when folks sell? If we hold it, we'll continue running. Very good question, brother. So, hypothetically speaking, let's say worst case scenario happens. AMC really does do all the reverse and the conversion, and then they eventually go ahead and they get the squeeze starts happening, and they start dumping shares. Shorts take them to cover, but nobody's selling. Let's just go with that question that you just mentioned, and it's a good question. It's a good way to think of it. And everybody is holding. This is why, Mr. Tim Tuna, remember earlier when I said, and I know I'm just getting to the comments now, but remember earlier when I said that the good scenario here is that, or the good news that you want to hear is that all those synthetics that were sold naked and all that stuff are still technically held by the one and only, or the majority shareholders of the company, which is retail. When they dump those shares short, who bought those shares? Somebody bought them. They don't just dump them and they just go into a matrix. Somebody buys them in order for those shorts to count. My wild guess is that that's you and me, the retail. So when retail bought those shares, eventually, we obviously continue to hold, we will hold the market cap at a much higher valuation. That's given that at that point, it will be different. We won't be in it to, again, even if the company sells to the shorts and they get out, the number will still stay high. But at that point, who's going to be slaughtered? Answer your own question, playing for birdies. It's going to be a dog eat dog moment at that point, or a situation. Yes, the number will continue running. The number will continue going because obviously brokers, when you're processing your sell order, will need to go and pair it up and buy those. Somebody's buying those shares back from you as you're selling them. And clearly, at that moment, I would like to imagine that the people that will be doing most of that buying are going to be the market maker that's on the hook for so much unpurchased yet delivered shares and stocks, and the main conspirators here, in my humble opinion, the brokers will be buying back from you at whatever that price is at that point. But who's going to be the people that would be your worst enemy at that point, or who are we going to be obliterating? Retail, ourselves, because we're going to be the ones who are, while you're holding, somebody will be selling. So yes, the numbers will go. It will fly. It will do its thing. But the idea of obliterating short companies,
just obliterating them out, like what we have done with Archegos and Melvin Capital and other, and is it's if AMC has shares to dump after the conversion, just understand that eventually, if we're not going to sell to these shorts, who's going to sell to them? Where are they going to go? Where else are they going to go? Like Antara did. And when they get their shares, they will do their closing. They will cause the price to go crazy. We will cause it to even go crazier by even holding. But don't think for one single second that the top is going to be, whatever the top is going to last for a long time, or even it might be the quickest moment of your life. You know, you and I don't know how many are holding and when they're selling. We just see volume, on what the reported volume is. So, good question, valuable analogy. But again, remember, follow through with that question and see at that point if there are no shorts in there and we're all holding and the price is still running because there's some buying here and some selling there, then who's gonna go out on the backs of who? Exactly. Wait for the proxy, John Vincent. Pantheon is in the house. Sorry, I'm just now getting to it. It's 6:04. Oh my God, that was like an hour ago. So I totally understand if you're not around as well. Nice to see you, brother. At Adrian at Colin, if you sell AMC in a TFCA, then nothing goes to the US government for taxes. However, if you collect cash dividend in a TFCA for a NYSE stock, then you do pay taxes, US taxes on the dividend. Well, valuable info. Thanks for the knowledge. I don't like AMC. I like short squeeze, Joe. That's it. If I do make my money, I'm gone. I get in my new BMW motorcycle. By the way, you know what's funny about that, Joe? If you're still around, is one of my friends just got that was his favorite is the BMW motorcycle. He just got it. He's down in Sarasota, Florida. He bought it when he was here in Ohio. What's up, Glock? How are you doing, my friend? Miss Gloria, if you're still around, how are you, sis? Wasim Bano, walaikum salam, brother. You still believe in the chart you showed us long back ago? I'm hoping your chart turns out true. I believe in all of them, brother. Yeah, of course I do. Stand with them. But you got to remember also, reverse stock split and convergence of certain things that just come up out of nowhere. That stuff can't be factored into anything. You don't we can't anticipate that. So you gotta add that in as well. So that's why again on the chart, and this was another thing. A good thing you brought that up, Wasim. When certain stocks, who was it? Like I just made a video on that like a week or 2 weeks ago. There was a round of FUD that was going down in AMC, trying to convince people that a squeeze is like it was so insidious too, and I can tell that it was planned by bots and like by short hedge funds. You can easily tell because they want you to accept a reality that what if you accept the reality, whether it's good or bad for you, as long as you accepted it, that's all that matters because you understand, you live with it, you accepted it. So to get you to accept something, that's where their art is, and that's why they spend millions and billions of dollars on uh, those psychologists and these algorithms that are psychologically driven and invested in. So they spent so much into that, and that's the reason why. So what was that round of FUD that was going on like a week or 2 weeks ago? It was saying because all these companies are doing like reverse stock splits and stuff. So like one was on CEI, and it did a stock split, reverse stock split, 50-1. And obviously, clearly, it went from the pennies that it was in the 30, 40 cent region, and it climbed up obviously to the $7, $8 range, somewhere around there. And on the chart, what will it show? It will show that because the chart does not factor in a reverse stock split or a forward stock split, so it just shows percentages. This number was at 40 cents. Now it's at $8. It will automatically convert the jump, thinking that it jumped on its own, like it went up to $8. So it said that, oh, this quote is 2,000% or 1,300% or 4,000%. Now, the person who doesn't know anything about CEI or anything about what's happening, on that day, they open up their favorite Robinhood or Webull or TD Ameritrade or whatever, and they look at the moving stocks and, oh, shoot, they see a stock that's, wow, this is up 3,000%. Are you kidding me? I missed out on this. But if you go and read the news, you see that they performed a reverse stock split. So really, there was no 3,000%. It is 3,000% higher than what it was just before the reverse stock split. But all that has been factored in. The value is still the same. You also gave up in that reverse stock split your equivalence of that to make it exactly the same thing it was. So when it went up from 40 to or 50 cent that it was to $8 or $7, you you practically at $8 are still holding the same 40 cents because they consolidated 50 of your shares to make it just one at $8 or $7. But the chart will read it as that's a surge of 3,000% or 4,000%. And that's basically not true at all. Exactly. So if they could do a reverse stock split, AMC could do it at three, whatever, 4-1 or 3-1 or something, hypothetically speaking. And we could go up to anywhere between the 12 to 15. And next thing you know, we're right at similar percentages that we were talking about. However, we're going to be doing another one soon, like really, really, really soon. On the next live, we'll do. I'll have the computer and we'll do, just a full chart look on it. Hopefully, all is well, Mr. Bano. I'll sell and do very well. Pokes, how are you, my friend? Always good to see you. Hopefully, you're still working hard, as always. What's the talk on Ape? Where did I just see that? Oh yeah, B in units, not shares. Mm. I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow. I've never seen anything about this Marine guy. Let's see. This must be fun. Oh, we have some. I see that. I see that, Adrian. I didn't go. I don't know where we're at, but yeah, I see that. Who's this? Adrian Merlina McQuillan. Hello, AB. You are the one person who speaks our mind and keeps it classy all the same without all the negativity and cursing. To me, that equals a subscriber. Well, again, you humble me with this. Thank you, Merlina. But again, it's just the only way that I know how. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything, or I'm not gonna say anything that is. If I know that something is wrong, I'll mention it. Like, and if it's correct, I'll also mention it. And I'm the first to own up to it too. Like, if I was ever wrong or any of that stuff, again, I haven't said anything that is even shilling about this. This is like a business. When I open up a business, like my restaurant, or even before that, the hookah bar, or even before that, the cell phone store, or even before that, the other restaurant, like any of those things, you are to be thinking that some things could go wrong. And what can I do to make sure I come out successful and my business comes out successful? This is the part that where we do that. What I'm doing here is that same part. We're in this together. Tony Denaro, what's up, brother? Yo, AB, good to see you, bro. Likewise, I hope Scarlett is good, my friend. My prayers and wishes go out to you. I did wish the prayers on that. I know that she's doing much better because I've seen that you guys are going. You took her out to Megan the other day, so to watch Megan. Hopefully, that was a great movie and you guys had a great time. But more importantly, hopefully, all her health is well and she's obviously recovered completely and. Healthfully. So I'm glad to see you in here, brother. And again, that's all that matters is family, peace, health, and wealth. So therefore, once again, hopefully your beloved is doing much better. Thank you, Merlina. Veronica Chase, I understand JB because we never owned the float. Uh yeah, we here's the thing, Miss Chase. I don't know, like what you're referring to as far as like we never owned the float, but we did. In my humble opinion, I think we owned not just one float, but we owned many floats. And this whole idea of why do we need this suddenly out of nowhere, this merging back of an ape, and the same time doing a reverse stock split, 10 to 1, while we're not even in the threat of receiving any compliance with the NYC of for any of that stuff, like why this and the sudden need and the speed for it and all that stuff, that just proves to me that there's so many floats out there, and obviously our moment and our time is coming. It's just they want to lessen the blow as much as they can. That's the way I see it. Again, things are not just black and white in life. You have to read between the lines. Thank you, baby. I say it as loud as possible. Much love, Miss Chase. Appreciate you as always. Highway Sushi. Nice to see you too, if I knew who you are. Gorilla Grodd. I knew you. I knew somebody was gonna hold me down to the about the whole basketball thing. Doing chores while he talks about eating basketballs. Used basketballs. Oh man. Thanks for the smiles, brother. That is true. I got basketballs you can eat. You too now? Oh my god, how many more? GG, I had to. Of course, you and Legrand will have a laugh at that. I love you guys. Um, Derek Lenhart received email from Fidelity, wanted to borrow my shares. Um, I mean, they've been doing that forever. I mean, I can't validate it. Uh, maybe I guess post it somewhere and tag me and tag others so we could see more of it. But that's been happening for the better part of 2 years already. And yeah, we all know like they're so desperate for these shares. And that's what created the idea of MOAS, is because the only way for them to get to their salvation, that's the shorting entities, the hedge funds and the brokers and the people. Again, call your brokers and tell them, do you guys also make money by opening short positions? Call your broker, whatever broker you have, and see what answer you get. And then leave it to your wildest imaginations if your own broker is also shorting you directly. So, anyways, but and then come back with those answers. Share them around. Let people see more. It's good for people to look at more than one narrative from a different direction. It's that important. But yeah, like the only thing that creates the idea of MOAS is the fact that the shorts need what we have in order for them to prevent MOAS. Now, the reason why we call it MOAS is because the longer we hold, the higher it goes. Eventually, it will be the mother of all short squeezes. That's what we're aiming for, correctly? I hope I'm not getting it wrong. Hopefully, that we're both, or we all are here on the same understanding as what the MOAS means. Because the mother of all short squeezes cannot be anything less than previous short squeezes, correct? I don't know. Put that in the comments. Maybe I see it differently, or maybe there's a different angle to it. But to me, the mother of all short squeezes means something that is higher than anything that preceded it, right? Like when I see a like when they say a megalodon, I'm thinking of the biggest shark ever. I haven't seen any other shark that's bigger than a megalodon. Otherwise, it will have a cooler, different name, like great white. Okay, right now in our times, we don't even know if there is any megalodons. Anyways, I don't even want to open any conspiracy theorist thoughts and Mariana Trenches and all that stuff. But no, honestly, the great white right now in our time is like so much bigger and more ferocious than the tiger shark or the hammer shark and the bull shark and all that stuff. But and that's why it has this cooler name, like the great white. It has this extra thing, megalodon. Oh, megalodon. It has its own name. Marlena McQuillan. He sold to Antera so he could eventually own the float, not retail. Again, we see eye to eye, Marlena. We see eye to eye. If this thing was to go through, that's the way I see it. If others see it in a different way, have it your way. or more like I would say, I'm loving it. AB, what do you think about Adam Arid always selling to the hedge funds instead of retail? Well, I mean, again, he can't technically come out and say, hey, to all you shareholders, I need to get rid of 200 million or I need to get rid of 50 million shares. Would you take this? My thing is, I have no problem with him having to sell because we all have to sell to make money at some point, right? My issue is since I am holding myself to a higher standard and I'm holding for a mother of all short squeezes, you as a company are not holding for a mother of all short squeezes. But what I don't get is why do you devaluate your own shares? Like, why is equivalence to like me having a car that Kelly Blue Book value is on it is whatever 30,000. Yet I go ahead and post it for. I wait until a market event happens to take me down and devaluate my car and drive it a little longer and all that stuff to sell it at 20K instead of 30. Or in this case, to sell it for $2,000 instead of $30,000. Why? It makes no sense. If it makes any sense to any of you guys, then I don't know. My common sense is, I guess, completely gone in this world. But it's plain and simple. Anybody can bring out any or make light out of any situation, whether it's terrible or good or good. But at the end of the day, it's face value is it's like the face value is right in front of you. Why would I've never seen something like this. Like, why would you sell? Like, look at Elon, for example. He's look at what Elon is doing with Tesla for for the sake of love or hate. Look at what Elon is doing. He didn't sell his shares at 100 or 101 or 102 when it dropped to that low. He was selling in the highs. He was always selling when it's higher than where it was. So why is Ape any different? Why is Ape being sold at 50 cent and 40 cent? Why? But instead, you could have sold it at 7 or 6 or 5 or 8. Yeah, and some will come out and say, well, guess what? He did come out and the community said, don't sell, don't dilute. Cry me a river. That's a big fat lie. He never shied away from selling. He sold before. The only difference coming soon is that if they get their way with this thing, they will be able to sell without your consent, and they'll be able to do whatever because they will gain control. You're like Rod at AV, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's a good thing. See, that's a very, very good thing. Spirituality, and I'm a huge believer. You all know this. Most of you at least would know this. So like we obviously need God each and every day. You know, Allah has been the most like amazing and merciful and blessing to everyone. And again, not pushing any religion stuff on anybody. It's up to anybody who wants to share with that or not. We're all the same at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what religion is being followed or even no religion is being followed. Human decency is the most important thing, or what makes us human as well. However, we need definitely that because when you know that when you completely consent, and I know where you're coming from, Gorilla Grodd. This is why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. When you completely consent and give yourself up to the higher power, at that point you're no longer emotionally involved. You're mentally focused, but you're no longer mentally or emotionally involved because you know whatever is about to happen to you or whatever is going to happen to you has already been predetermined by his grace, and he already have written in your book for you. So if my moment was to go out of this world at this moment right now, I don't know it, but he does. He does up there. So therefore, when I know that if this squeeze means harm for me and he wants to protect me away from it, then maybe I don't see it, but he does. If this squeeze means all good for me, and exactly that's where you at, Grod, and that's where I'm at as well with that in life. But that's in general in life, the bigger picture, of course, deep stuff. Ah, look, we're almost going on 3 hours. Wow. No wonder why people leave. uh, Yes, have faith in our play, guys, please, because again, at the end of the day, um, if you don't believe in it, how is it going to happen? But that's why I was telling you guys earlier that you deserve everything that is good to come from this. You're it's not a matter of luck or it happened or I lucked out. No. You all deserve every freaking penny to the billion or to the trillion or to whatever. You've done so much. You've sacrificed so much. And it's not just something that God will gift you with. You've also worked for it. And that's why it's even a much better gift. You know, you deserve it and you worked for it. You did. Yeah, some might consider buying and holding is not work, but it is work. It is work. You went to work, did whatever to come up with that capital to buy that and continue adding on it and to hold it. That is work because you constantly have to think about that. So most of you would think about like, hey, I have a family to take care of. If it's just a single-minded person, then maybe it's a little bit less easy because or it's easier for them. Like, hey, I only gotta if I go to the shitter, I go to the shitter. It's just me. But if you have other necks on the line that matter to you more than you to yourself, I totally see it. I feel I'm thinking with you. I'm not just thinking from my perspective. I'm thinking the way I think because of you. You deserve every little penny to the max. But the idea or the notion that, that you even had to fight for it was extremely sad because this is the world that we live in, right? You shouldn't even be here right now. We shouldn't even be here. This should have been a long time ago dealt with and done over. But we can't, just because the battle is not going in our way in certain times, and this whole movement, the battle has definitely not been going our way. No one can sit there and lie and say, oh, I went for our way, unless you were one of the June 2021 people that sold on the run up and you considered that it went your way. Kudos to you. If that's what it is, I'm not going to judge anybody. But it hasn't been going our way at all. And the idea is that we expect this to happen and we anticipate this to happen. And that is true. Because the other side is not just going to come and hand you over the knife to their jugular. No, we're going to go through hell, heaven, and all that stuff to get to eventually where we need to, the land of milk and honey. And we've been doing all that. We've all been holding, we've all been adding, we've all been doing that. The one thing that my last message will come out of this life, and hopefully maybe in the next one we'll talk about more other stuff, is that after doing everything ourselves, I just want everybody to hold that same board and that same CEO to the freaking same standard. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying go cuss him out on you on Twitter. I'm not saying go do this. I'm just telling you to go and hold all of them to the same freaking standard you hold all your brothers and sisters in this movement to. Hold them to that standard because you did everything. I did everything. We all are doing everything. We did everything that it was expected of us. Buy, we bought. Buy more, we bought more. Continue buying, we continued buying. Don't sell, we didn't sell. A few here and there, well, that's to be expected. That's just the world. But the last thing the one thing I will not accept or I will not allow is for our own people that we consider the silverback, the board, and the CEO to be the ones that screw us over, to at least not to our liking or to what we are rightfully owed. In order for Adam Aaron to ride with us, he has to be read in his account for 2 years to really experience the pain. His actual bank account, then he can state he rides with us. He's 1%. He rides with them. Again, maybe, maybe not. He's at this point, like I said, I'm in this mode of reacting to what we get. If these things go through the way that it is and they vote for that stuff and everything, you're gonna have so many different narratives. You're gonna have people to tell you, would you rather have a squeeze now or 5 years from now? I would rather have it now, even if it's less than the one 5 years from now, because it forces the short squeeze. Anybody that tells you this reverse stock split is a master move and a 4D chess and stupid crap like this, make sure you remember that you put them there so that afterwards you can remember where you fucked up. I'm sorry for the F bomb for the last time on that one. That was again, when I told you, like when I get emotional, I lose control, but it's mainly I get emotional for the people or for the things that I really care about. Otherwise, everybody that knows me in my inner circle knows I do not get serious over nothing unless it's something that matters to me. And this matters to me. This matters to me a lot. The reality is, you've listened and replied for 3 hours. We've been in our heads about this play. You helped us out today by being real and being there with us. So thank you. I appreciate it so much, Marlena. You've been a very, very valuable gem in this life. Appreciate it. Thanks for the support. You and obviously all the community members in here, all the people. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank obviously and most importantly to the all the moderators in here that that keep everything collected and keep everything sane while I'm over here, as some like to call it, rambling and rambling. They are protecting me and the community from all these shills that come out of nowhere, whether from other creators, content creators, or from the community or from hedge funds, to come out to shill. Much love to all the other content creators that came to show some support and that attended the stream at some point today. And yeah, it's been a pleasure as always. I'm just laughing at some other thought. I know you guys are like, what is he laughing at? I'm just laughing at a random thought. I've seen some characters in the chat that that just slither through. So I just wanted to know what their intentions were, and it's pretty clear. Thank you, babe. Thank you, Jam Bams, and most of the love and appreciation to you as well. You definitely are a beacon of light in my life for sure, and much more. Well, if anybody please has any questions, AB has put in 3 hours. I'm so sorry to take from your time, guys. I have taken a lot of my own as well. I want to eat. I haven't eaten anything all day. But I'm not that hungry to the point where I can't sit around just to answer a few questions if there is any. Please go for it. And again, AB has never been afraid to, wage any flag or any war at anything. I know there's going to be a lot of characters that will come after me, a lot of shills that will light up my content, my comment section afterwards. I embrace it. I welcome all of them. In the same time, I'm going to see a lot of content creators that are going to, take from this and go out there and try to either spin some content out of it. Well, I'm glad that I was able to help you in any way, whether you love me or you hate me or whatever. I'm glad that I was able to give you something, at least in life, so that when I stand in front of my maker, I can say that, hey, I did all I can do. Dre B, hi AB. I just attended to your live late. Are you saying the reverse split is a bad idea for this play? Indeed, I am saying that, brother. In my humble opinion, I do not like the reverse stock split, but more so, I do not like the conversion of Ape back into AMC. They both play like hand in hand a role to better yet lessen the blow that we can inflict personally onto the shorting hedge funds and the brokers and everybody that's involved in this corruption or corrupted market. At AB, I have a question. Barbecue or Japanese tonight? Gorilla Grodd, you're so mean. It might be Arab. It might be Arabic food tonight. Yeah, it might be Arabic food. I think I'm gonna eat okra with some salsa and some meat on the side, some steak. We'll see. I'll probably share it on Discord. We'll see. Colin S, go eat again. Well, appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. I will. Ah, Dre B, I see the same message. Hopefully, you got my answer. All right, my beloved people. I've said all my thank yous and dues to everybody. And again, thank you again for all the people that have lasted all this time with me again. Uh, Around the corner, I didn't know halal was so damn good. Well, Gorilla Grodd, I'm glad you like it. It's very similar to kosher too, like in the Jewish faith. Halal is very similar to kosher. It's basically this the way of the of the killing or the butchering that happened is much more one. It's much more. I don't want to say humane, but it's much more merciful on the animal because they're not like like in plants here sometimes in factories they either beat the chicken to death or slamming it against the head, or they even in cows they just shoot them in the head or whatever, or they slaughter them like by doing that. So it's like it's very crazy. Or they stick in pigs, like they stick knives or needles in their hearts. So yeah, so like it's halal and kosher are very similarly the same, and then the meat itself will have least amount of blood into it. So I'm glad you liked it, brother. So if this goes through, then the squeeze is dead. No, no, Dre B, no, no, the squeeze is not dead, even if that thing goes through. As I said before, it just lessens the blow to the other side. Again, my opinion as a non-advisor, so and as a non-financial advisor, so who knows? I could obviously be wrong. You have a great night as well, Marlena. Appreciate you so much, and you have a great night at night and time as well with your loved ones. Thanks for the confirmation, Dre B. I'm glad you got it. So once again, people, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I will see you tomorrow, probably for a small little video about the market and what's happening. Or the next live might be a week or two from now because who knows? Like after this, long time. Pretty sure people don't want to see me for long after this. So much love to all of you. Stay healthy and stay sane. And much love, AB Investments.